So, Avatar Frontiers of Pandora is set to be released in December of 2023, so we're about 2 months away from the release of this game. And GamesRadar have done a preview for it, and they've said, a beautiful, cluttered, confusing adventure. Now, I've watched through this whole video, and I wanted to come back, watch it with you guys, and give you my opinion. Basically criticize this video, if you will, do my own sort of review on this footage, because I disagree with most of what's been said about it, and the title I've said, Avatar Frontiers of Pandora, will be a masterpiece. That is if it is technically all there, and if they change a couple of things around. So we're going to jump in, we're going to listen to this. I'll leave it linked in the description if you guys want to watch it in your own time as well. But let's begin this and listen to what this, I'm going to say, journalist has to say. So let's start.
So Jasmine has been playing Avatar Frontiers of Pandora for us, the much delayed game. The main word that comes to mind when reading your preview and chatting to you about it is bewildering, both from the mechanics, the UI, the gameplay, the navigation, the story, the sound, the crafting, the...
And I just want to say this quickly. If any of this from me sounds harsh in any way, I apologize up front. But I'm going to be completely honest when I talk about it, and it's going to be my feelings at the time of me saying it. Because some of this, I'm going to say straight up, is stupid.
World in general, this seems like a very bewildering game.
Yes, that is the word.
Yeah.
And the thing is, it just doesn't feel finished yet. Like, what happened to me, I didn't write about it in the article, but like, I don't know if I...
And to be fair, it doesn't feel finished. This game's been delayed multiple times. It's being developed by Massive Entertainment. And not only have they been working on this, but they've also been working on Star Wars Outlaws. And they also work on The Division 2 and things like that. They're a big company. They probably have a bunch of different developers working in different studios and stuff. But typically with Ubisoft, we get these basic open world games. Look at the Far Cry series for an example. And let's continue.
I can say it, whatever, but basically what happened was I tried to do another quest first, and I got to the area, it was like, oh, find a fire in the forest biome in the nether region of this map, and I got there, and there's a fire, there's something on fire, and nothing happens. I'm just watching it burn, I can run through flames, nothing happens, and then I called over one of the guys, and I was like, hey, so I'm at like a quest location, I found it in the quest log, why is nothing happening? And they're like, oh, you shouldn't have done that one first. And I was like, then why is it in my quest log? So it's not even working properly. They set us up in the middle of nowhere, halfway through, like 25% of the way through the game.
Okay, so that's the first part I want to mention. Jasmine says that they've set her up 25% of the way into the game. She's got multiple quests active, and pay attention to that part. There are multiple quests active at the same time. She's gone to try and do one quest and it will not trigger. Whoever she's in touch with is saying you have to do another quest first. That is straight up bullshit on the developer's part. You should never be forced, unless there's something telling you like you're locked out of completing this quest until your set percentage through the game, set level in the game or something like that. Unless you are told specifically you cannot continue with this quest, you should always be able to complete the quest. And not only that, if you're able to get part way through the quest, then there shouldn't really be anything blocking you from completing the rest of it. Unless it's something, like a recent example I can give you, Batman Arkham Knight, they have this quest line where you have to rescue these people. And you rescue a couple, and then the rest can't be rescued until you get further into the game. If it's a quest set up like that, fair enough. But if it's a standard, say for an example, it's a fetch quest, then if it's set up so that you are partway through the quest, they should not be blocking any further progress. So if that is the case and it's a basic quest, there is no continuation throughout the whole game and they've blocked your progress, and that is straight up bullshit on the developer's part.
So it expects that you know what to do, how to move around, all the different items. There's nothing to help you like, okay, this is my quest. It's like, oh, there are 3 quests, but apparently, oh, no, you have to pick that one. You can't do the other ones. I was like, but what if I wanted to do that? What if I wanted to like go out of order?
Well, I'm sorry, our game is that buggy that you can't.
You literally can't. I was like...
No. See, it doesn't necessarily make it a bug. There are different ways video games can be set up. And like Jasmine's saying, there's nothing to tell you which direction to go. Have you never played an RPG before? Have you never played a game that's designed to be difficult? Look at Elden Ring. That game does nothing to tell you what you're supposed to do next. You have to figure it all out, and I'm all for it. The amount of open world games we get where they hold your hand, Batman Arkham Knight being the perfect example, it is so handholdy, it's unbelievable. So I'm all for seeing open world games that are not so there to help you out and you have to figure things out on your own. It gives you a reason to go and explore these worlds that have been created. But as I said, that's only if it's all technically there. If it is a bug within the quest, then get on just get on it, fix it, immediately, before the game launches. I'm sick and tired of games, especially big games, coming out full of bugs. Forza Motorsport, it's been like a month since that game released. They still haven't fixed the biggest issue in the game.
Is something meant to happen? And they're like, oh yeah, I mean, there's meant to be someone here. Anyway, and then they literally just moved on and didn't say anything else. I got to this location. You have to find these specific fruit, which doesn't tell you how to find things, by the way. It's just find this fruit and bring it back to the HQ. So I find random fruit, I return, and I speak to everyone, and I can't find who I'm meant to talk to. I'm like, why doesn't it say on the map marker, oh, speak to this? There should be something saying, something over their head, anything. Nothing. He's like, oh, if you go all the way upstairs, put it on that table, it'll trigger a conversation. How
Well, there you go. Hold on, let's continue that sentence.
am I meant to know how to do that?
And it's not there's a
How am I meant to know to do that? Well, there are games out there designed that don't give you waypoints to your objectives and stuff. And if it is created, if the game's designed to be like that, where you are forced to, understand the characters, know who the characters are, know the areas you're in and stuff, then fair enough. But some games out there do create things like this just to pad playtime for players. It's all filler content. We're not going to give you a waypoint because we want you to waste 20 minutes of your playtime looking for the next objective. So I'm really hoping this is going in the way of this game is designed to not hold your hand and not the other way where it's oh, we've just done this to pad out the playtime.
fruit merchant.
Yes.
Oh, there's no,
nothing.
it's that table specifically, and that table's not got a yellow highlight thing.
Nothing. There's nothing.
You don't
to
need
guide
that in
you.
games
and
all the
I'm not sure
time.
if they're going to add this in later, but you're not going to.
I kinda hope they
everyone
don't.
around. This compass is blank. Nothing on it at all. I'm running around the jungle trying to make sense of my guns. Won't something attack me? Nothing attacked me. So I had to attack other things to get them to react to me, because otherwise it's just you're passing through this beautiful kind of empty world that doesn't react unless you've gone in order in these quest thingies. And
But that's like saying you want combat in every 500 meters of moving around. And I don't think that should be the case in video games.
I was trying to be nice because I spoke with the developer a little bit later, and I was just I've got no idea what this game is about. Literally no, I couldn't pay you to tell you. But then I spoke with.
So therefore, play the game and learn about it. I have no idea what this game is. I have no idea about this game. So play the game and understand, which you're probably not going to get from a preview. This was possibly an hour or two's worth of gameplay or something like that. But they've given you the open world. They've put you in 25% of the way through. They said, explore this and check this stuff out to try and encourage you to buy the game. And sometimes it can be essentially a scam and get you to purchase a £100 game for nothing because it's terrible. But they've given you this open world, this high-leveled character or whatever, and told you to go out and explore during your preview. And you don't have an understanding of the game. You haven't started at the beginning, so you're not expected to fully understand it. But complaining that you don't know anything about the game after a preview, explore during your playtime to understand the game. As I said, I'm fed up with seeing games that hold your hand all the time. It's okay in portions. I have racing lines on for my corners when I'm racing. I like a bit of assistance, but I don't like a game that's literally going to pull me through it.
The developer, he was really nice, and he explained that it's basically what they want you to feel. They want you to feel out of your depth. They
If
want
that
you
is
to
the
be
case,
on
obviously.
the same footing as this character that you play, who has no idea what's going on. So
Good. Build up a story with your character. Get people to feel like the character they're playing. Immerse them in this world. This is all good.
in their mind, it's literally, as he said, that's a sign of success for us. Is if you don't know what's happening,
it
you
is
have to
good.
grapple
If that's
with
how
this
you've
strange new
designed it,
world.
good.
And I get where they're coming from. I get that there's been there is definitely something about with the Souls-like genre making people feel out of depth. I understand that that's the thing that people like a lot at the moment. There's the exploration side of the Zelda games, which is just go out and explore things. But things do have to happen to you when you go out there. The game can't force you to interact with it or be that buggy that it doesn't interact properly. But the other part that they're bringing into it, which again wasn't signposted, is
Look at that gameplay. Just fucking crouch. Why is it taking you so long to crouch? You've ended up getting stuck in the terrain because you haven't crouched when you've seen a path, like a passageway that's designed for you to crouch under.
basically like to a certain extent a survival horror. It turned into Resident Evil for you because when you did come across somebody who was shooting back, you didn't have enough ammo left.
Yes, and again, like, I found out about crafting completely by accident just by exploring, and you can't craft any ammo for anything. All you can do is there's like endless.
You are in, you're in Pandora. Should you have to be able to craft ammo? Like, really? There shouldn't necessarily be a way to craft your ammo. I think it's quite good that they've put this survival aspect in. Like, if you ain't got the ammo, you ain't gonna shoot. I really, really like that.
Supplies of ammo for some reason in these abandoned bases, which are
Abandoned bases? They've got ammo in? Cool.
Because the game takes place at the same time as the Avatar movies,
Right,
But
okay.
in a complete different area. So the idea is like you're fighting to hold down the fort on your end, whereas on the other side of the world, the movies
Stuff's
are
going on.
happening. Yeah. But, well, the first movie, sorry. But yeah, like in this, it was like I found myself just sort of being like, oh, I can just return back to this random base and loot it for more ammo, I guess, if I can't loot it. Not realizing that suddenly, oh, I'm in this combat heavy scenario. I've spent all of my bullets. I thought I was like out flying around in the sky on my lovely little Ikran called Carol. Suddenly, oh, you need to go and shoot down these bases. With what weapon?
Okay, so preserve your ammo. Don't waste it all on things that you don't necessarily need to kill. I don't understand it. Complaining of a lack of ammo in a game that's designed like this.
Weapons. My bows sucked. My bullets in the gun, they were just gone. It was just like, I only had one gun as well. It was just this semi-automatic rifle just spraying and praying. And when that was empty, I had to leg it and fly off and try and find another base to raid for endless ammo.
Again,
Yeah, again, as the dudes just said, I'm actually starting to get more annoyed with this second time of watching this video than what I did the first time. You cannot, if you want unlimited ammo and you don't want to have to go and raid bases for it, just buy the game on PC and use fucking Wiimote or Cheat Engine or something like that. You don't necessarily have to have all this stuff given to you. It's like basically putting your, like, I can't be fucking bothered with this.
and maybe the designers have made it like that. Maybe that is part of the
Yeah,
game.
maybe.
And you've talked about it being a bit of like a mix between Far Cry and Fallout.
Yeah.
And there is elements within Fallout where sometimes you do get to a place and going, oh, I didn't prep for this. I haven't got enough ammo. I stumbled across this. I need to come back.
Yeah,
So
well
maybe
done.
there is that side where there are those
Yeah,
inspirations.
there
But I
possibly
think that
is.
the way that the game looks, it looks like this beautiful cinematic action that is a bit more Far Cry with it's just fun. And I just think that I understand you shouldn't judge a book by its cover, but people are going to maybe be coming to this thinking it is a more fun jump in, have a bit of a laugh, jump out thing. And it turns out, no. This is a hard game that doesn't tell you stuff, doesn't tell you where to go, doesn't tell you how to craft, doesn't tell you the mechanics. And it is like punishing. And it's and like the developer said to you, their design is for you to be lost and confused.
So, yeah, if you are thinking that you're coming into this game for fun, that's you assuming you're going to be going into the game for fun. And who knows, that with the game being as difficult as they're making it out to be, that could actually be fun, even for players that don't typically enjoy that experience. You can't just go making assumptions on a preview like this, saying, oh no, this is a really, really tough game. No. Just, that's how it's designed. Or like by the looks of things, that's how it's been designed by the developers. Not every single video game has to be just stupid stuff. Like Far Cry, you can have so much fun in there, but a lot of it is stupid fun. Not every game has to be like that. Even games that come out of Ubisoft, they've made so many open world games that feel like the Far Cry series. And I'm glad they've got Massive Entertainment that steer away from it a little bit.
Because, like, to its credit, at first I thought, okay, I'm aware that I'm starting 24% of the way in. Like, maybe they explained these things earlier on, but it was just the fact that, like, if you
They
were to
definitely
just
could do.
step into it, you would not have any idea what to do, where to go. And even, like, things that are interactable, like they have these little dots on the screen, I didn't realize that they were even important. I was like, oh, it's just part of the... Because there's so much happening that these little purple dots
So just remember that as well. There's so much happening. And not only that, even if they don't explain things at the beginning of the game, by the time you get 24% in, where they started Jasmine off, by the time you're that far into the game, you're going to know what to do.
Dots, these like pale purple dots, just look like part of a flower, and like
So it's like particle physics just
Yes.
going on. Oh, because so you're just like,
and you look around, and only when you look at a specific thing does it actually be like, oh, you can pick this for fruit if you want. There's nothing to sort of.
So it's not like it. Okay, so they've gone with, instead of it being a UI kind of HUD thing where it like circles and it says a little bit of text.
Yeah.
It's just a color sprite.
Yes.
Instead.
And then you look at it. And
but
it
bearing
tells
in
you.
mind that this is a completely new world, so they've developed new fauna and new animals that nobody's ever seen, which is amazing. It's great they've done that. But part of it, understandably, if this is a flower I've never seen, you go, well, that purple thing could just be part of the flower.
Yes, precisely. Like it's that thing.
I'm pretty sure you can see that those purple and blue dots are not part of that flower.
Where, like, for me, I'm just concerned that the world is so beautiful and there's so much to do that it just takes away from this story that's supposed to be, you know, this well-written, really complex sort of story about, like, patriotism and learning about your roots and your family. And there's this wonderful story that for me, just didn't come through at all because I...
See, but you're starting the preview 24% in. How do you know the beginning of the story? You don't. It could be the perfect, like, story. There's probably a big chance that it's not. But it could be a really, really amazing story, and you just can't get into it because you didn't start at the beginning.
I spent half the time being like, how do I run? Like, how do I build stuff? How do I become one with
Figure
this
it
world that
out.
wants
You're
to
playing
keep
a
me at
game.
such an arm's length. It felt like I was fighting against the game to just know what to do with my time.
If you're trying to work out how to just make it from point A to point B, if somebody's giving you an amazing lore dump on your headphones, you're like, I am not listening to you because I just ran through a cloud that made me faster.
Yes.
But nobody ever told you that. So all of a sudden you're pinging around like, what happened? I don't know why that. Oh, I went through a blue cloud. And then there's also climbing elements that again doesn't tell you have to shoot a certain thing to let the vines come down. But again, because you were dumped 25% into the game, you're like, I'm sure there was a tutorial that told me this, but I didn't know it.
And again, like, even with that, there's no purple dot on the vine fruit saying, vine fruit, shoot me. It's just like, oh, you should...
The fucking hell! Go play, like, Peppa Pig or something. Paw Patrol, go play them games. Oh my god, do you really need something to say, oh, vines, shoot me so you can climb up? No, figure things out.
know how to do this by now. Climbing, getting around isn't like a smooth kind of parkour Assassin's Creed kind of feel. There's no sort of like obvious thing to do, and you can't jump as high as you might think, and I was grappling with that, but once you get to the top of this
it adds to the
beautiful, like,
exploration.
animal rookery, you're on the back of this beautiful bird called an ikran, and you're swooping, and that feels really nice. But then it's like, oh, find a sky island with purple trees to continue the mission. There are about 1,000 of these sky islands, and
So
I
look for the
literally
purple
was
tree
like,
one.
Where? There's nothing on my mini-map telling me to go anywhere. It's not being specific. It's like, find a sky island with purple
And
trees
it didn't even
on
say like south, southwest. You might.
No. Sky island with
So you're up there, flying around, looking at thousands of islands, going, am I literally going to have to check every single one of these?
Yes, am I going to like...
It does not look like there are thousands of these sky islands.
My heart sunk. I was like, am I going to have to fly around the map? I can see on the map there are a bunch across the map on the other end of it, and my heart sank. I was like, am I going to have to fly like 100 kilometers across the map to find this place? Luckily, it wasn't too far, but I did spend a good like 20 minutes.
What is that green thing? Is that just a waypoint that she's set for 1.4 kilometers away?
Circling, making sure.
To fair play to them, they are trying something very hard, and it is very tricky to have that amazing exploration that you only get in a few games. But clearly, I think that they've missed the mark, and it's very unfortunate.
Yes, I definitely
it's
think
not.
that the bewilderment comes from, again, this feeling of not knowing what the game, what it wants to be. Like, is it an FPS? Like, am I meant to be going around shooting everything? Is it like an open world adventure exploration game?
Is it a
like
survival
Zelda?
game?
Precisely. Is it a survival horror game? Like, what does it want to do? I feel like it's trying to do a lot of things, and it does most of them competently. But the problem arises when I have no idea what the actual purpose of me exploring is. What will I gain from doing this? It's that the question for me was, what what are the stakes involved here? Will I even get anything if I go off the beaten path? Will it just be another few thousand yards of just jungle?
Which is
That's why you go and explore. You find out if there's stuff off the beaten path for you by exploring. This game is clearly, at least what it looks like to me, it's clearly looking like an action-adventure RPG. You have your leveling system, like your rarities for your loot. You're exploring to get all the adventure, and you're fighting to get all the action. Explore the fucking game.
been partly Starfield's problem, but this seems like on another level. Starfield, like, at least told you where to go. Like, it was boring getting there, but like you need to know what you're doing.
Yeah, like it's definitely something that like there will be people that want to just run around and have a good time and experience. People that are massive fans of the movies will love it, because to me it feels more like a walking sim of Pandora.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
So there's that benefit to it, where there is that it's very artistically driven, it's very lore driven.
Yeah.
But if you're not as interested in that, then you're literally just fighting through like legions and leagues of jungle just to get from A to B, and you don't know why you need to be there.
And it comes out in.
So that part right there is why I've said pay attention to a couple of things earlier in the video. Jasmine's sitting there saying it feels like a walking simulator. In other words, there's nothing to do but look around whilst you're walking about. But there were 3 quests you could choose from. There were 2 active at the same time, if I remember that screen properly. There was loads and loads of stuff happening when she was getting confused about the plants and the purple dots on them. There's loads of bases where there's infinite ammo sources there. There's flying to, like, across the skies to different bloody missions and stuff. There's a lot to do. So 1 minute she's saying, oh, there's loads of stuff to do. There's too much to do. It feels like I don't know what I'm here for, why I'm doing it. And the next minute she says there's nothing. It feels like you're just in a walking simulator.
Couple of months.
Yeah, in December, I'm quite sure. So like it's not far away. And I mean, I don't know. Let's hope that maybe they add a little bit more in terms of pathfinding. I'm not asking.
Let's hope
for...
that the first 25%
not.
you didn't play has some more tutorials.
Yes.
Maybe there's something else that missed, and maybe some more pathfinding. And that might work.
I must say, 25% of the way into the game, and that's when you get the flying bird for the first time. That's 25% of the game that you're going to spend walking around on foot.
Oh no!
I didn't even think about that until now.
I didn't think that you're going to have to get 25% of the way through the game before you get your flying mount. Has she never played an RPG before? There are so many games out there where you do not get your mounts and stuff straight away. That's typical of this genre. It went from bad to worse to... I really sound like a typical journalist throughout this commentary. Gaming journalists do not understand games, and that's clearly what she's shown, and it's gradually got worse and worse throughout the video. That, like, obviously, it's all my own opinion, but I'm pretty sure a couple of you at least are going to agree with me on this. She just sounds so stupid. Like, the stuff she is saying does not make sense, and she contradicts herself a lot. She wants the game to hold her hand. She doesn't want to explore.
Now, this bird makes map mobility so much easier. You can fly places like 20 times faster.
I mean, you don't know where you're going.
No.
But you can get to somewhere where you don't know where to go quick.
Yeah.
So she wants to skip half the game and just fly around and get around fast. She doesn't want to explore.
Yeah, you can fly.
Whereas
I mean,
25% of the game in, you've been wandering.
Just wandering around.
Oh my god.
On foot.
Okay, well, fingers crossed that they completely change the game in the next 2 months.
No!
Yeah, I mean, you know, there's hope. There's hope. I mean, Ubisoft are technically very good when it comes to open world games. I'm just hoping.
Ubisoft are typically very good when it comes to creating video games and open world games. So if they've designed it this way, they've done a bloody good job.
That comes through in the final version for this. I really do.
Yeah, so the whole video pretty much was complaining about exploring, about having to do things on your own. Like, I get it. It's nice to have the assistance there of your, like, waypoints, your pathfinding, your objective markers and things like that. But it's also nice, especially in a world like Pandora, to have that sense of wanting to explore and needing to explore. I really don't understand where about 90% of the complaints came through. The only thing I'm going to agree with from that video is the fact that they've said you have to do this quest before doing this quest. Unless it's set up to work that way because it's a quest chain that'll be completed throughout the game or something like that. If they've set it up where there's just a load of padded out filler content stuff and they've locked you out of quests for no reason, then yeah, bullshit, they need to sort that stuff out. But I honestly think with the way it sounds, the way they've made it out to be set up, it's going to be a lot more niche than if it was just like a Far Cry open world. But even being niche, I think this game, providing it's technically all there, and all the features, the core features and stuff work, providing there's no game-breaking bugs and stupid bugs that shouldn't be there, progression blockers and things like that, as long as all of that is not there, there's a big chance it will be. But providing it's not there, or at least not there in big numbers, then I'm going to say this can quite easily be a masterpiece. That video started to frustrate me more and more the further we got into it, because I didn't agree with the preview. And it's my own personal opinion, just like Jasmine's. It was her own personal opinion. It's fair enough. But it's nice to have that sort of, like, she's done her preview, I've reacted to it, and I've responded with my own opinions and stuff. It opens up a lot of discussion. There's no hard feelings. If I sounded harsh, I didn't mean to be. And that was basically my reaction to the preview of what I'm going to actually call Avatar Frontiers of Elden Ring. And on that note, we are going to leave the video there. If you enjoyed it, leaving a like is appreciated. If you wish to support me further as a creator, there are links in the description. Let me know your thoughts about the video in the comments. And if you want to watch more, you can click the video on screen. All support on the channel is greatly appreciated, and I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for watching.